time for a wrap-up video. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Zach with Zacks Books, and today I've got my March wrap-up. So, I've got decent variety. I want to say most of these are thrillers, but what have you. I've got 6 of them. 3 of them I've already done a recent reads on, but instead of doing another recent reads, I figured I'd re-evaluate some of the ones from the other one because I have some changed opinions on them and some different star ratings. So, I will be kind of ranking them from least favorite to most favorite. We will have them linked down below, as well as the podcast. What we are doing is, a lot of people have been asking for the video of us doing the podcast and the filming of it. And we made a separate video, or a separate YouTube channel for it called Books and Stuff Podcast. And we'll be posting that on there. We'll have that linked down below as well. Again, we have got Gabby Reads and Aaron Megan so far. We got another one coming up this Monday. If not this Monday, we might do a podcast about one of the books I just read, and then we might have the other guest the following week. We're still debating on it. But everything is linked down below. Make sure you subscribe to the other channel, because you guys want to watch us as we're recording the other podcast. So. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into the books. Alright, the first one up is one that was in the first recent reads, which if you have not seen that, check it out up here. But it is The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. At the time, I gave this 4 stars. To me, this book was not as memorable as, I want to say, The Guest List. That one was far better, in my opinion. And the more I've kind of pondered this book and sat on it, as well as the next one here, it's really not that memorable for me. It was a 4-star. I honestly would probably drop this down to a 2. I couldn't even tell you any characters in this book. And it wasn't the best, but I am obviously going to continue reading Lucy Foley because she has written some decent books. And I will continue reading her stuff. But this book definitely has tailored off. So, The Paris Apartment, Lucy Foley, 2 stars. Alright, the next one up is The End of Her by Sherry Lapina. So, this is, I want to say, the last Sherry Lapina book I had to read. We do have like a analysis video of her books and like my rankings of them. I guess it's more of a ranking video. Check that out up here if you want to take a look at that. This book I originally gave 3.5 stars. This was also in the same video as The Paris Apartment. The more I've sat on it, just like the other one, I've realized that my first take on it was, I actually don't think it was accurate at all. I think this ending actually was a little bit better in terms of the husband actually was not the right person that I wanted him to be. But pretty much what happens is it's a married couple. I think it's Stephanie and Patrick. Yeah, Stephanie and Patrick have a set of kids. Patrick is kind of sketchy, and this girl from his past resurfaces. She's trying to warn the wife. The wife's not really biting on anything. A whole lot of weird things happen in this. The ending, now that I've sat on it, the ending is actually an ending that actually I think is good, it works, but at the same time it just wasn't that good of a book for me. So I'm going to bring it down to a 2.5, maybe a 3 at best. But yeah, there you have The End of Her by Sherry Lapina. Alright, the next one up is 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. This is a book that I have not talked about yet. This is a book about 9 people who get a list, and they've got a bunch of mysterious names on them, their own, as well as a bunch of others. And then mysteriously, they all start getting picked off one by one. And I'm not going to lie, if it was not for the last maybe 50 pages to 100 pages of this book, this probably would have been worse than The Paris Apartment. Obviously there's the 9 main names. There's their parents' names that get thrown out there. There's a lot of names that get thrown around in a book that's not really about in terms of like The Stand by Stephen King, like it's not a giant town or anything like that. It's just, I don't know, I just thought it was not as necessary with all the names, but I guess for the plot it had to be. Like I said, people start getting picked off one by one, and like I said, if it was not for the last bit of the book, I just personally was not in following the story. Like, I was like, okay, well, that one's gone. That one's like... It just seemed like a basic picking off story, and then when the twist gets revealed, I was like, okay, I see that. That makes sense. And that's pretty much what made the book a lot better for me. So, yeah, I would probably end up giving this about 4 stars. All the rest of these are 4 stars. There's one 5-star, and I'm excited to get to that one. But overall, I would say 9 Lives, pretty solid book. 4 stars by Peter Swanson. Alright, the next one up is The Night Shift by Alex Finlay. Watch the old video. Nothing has changed. 4 stars. I mean, it's about in 1999, I want to say it's a Blockbuster. Yeah, a Blockbuster, and then 15 years later, it is at an ice cream store, and 2 like identical like situations happen. A murder happens where all the employees die except for one person. You're trying to figure out who it is, whether it's a copycat, a different person, or what have you. And you can ask Danielle. I literally predicted who it was, like within the first like 50 pages of the book, and I'm actually pretty excited about that because most thrillers I usually always get it wrong and never can guess the right thing or person or what happens. So. I was pretty excited when I guessed that one. So, pretty solid book, 4 stars. The Night Shift by Alex Finlay. Alright, next up is The Overnight Guest by Heather Gudenkauf. This is a surprise book. It's 4.5 stars, doesn't quite hit that 5-star mark for me. This book, I would say, I told Danielle this too, it kind of started off with like the movie Prisoners vibes. You know, people are missing, everyone's trying to figure out what's going on. You have this cop that's trying to really figure everything out, but like he really seems like he's the only one really like putting forth the effort into trying to find them. There's 2 timelines in this. You got this one woman who is in this house where 2 murders happen. The parents of I would say a mentally damaged kid and a sister, and then the sister's best friend. It's got a weird twist in the end, I would say. They kind of really play it off like it's going one direction, and then there's like a twist on it, and I think it worked. I personally like the ending. It's heartwarming. But I thought it was a really good book. 4.5 stars, like I said, just doesn't quite hit the 5. I really couldn't pin it on one thing as to why it just didn't quite hit 5. It just didn't for me. So, there you have The Overnight Guest by Heather Gudenkauf. Okay, so we are in the last book. I think I found my new favorite non-Stephen King book to exist besides Project Hail Mary. Project Hail Mary has got like a special place for me, and I don't know why. But this book, wow. Everyone who has said to read it, I can see why you said to read it. And that is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. As you guys saw, this was in my April TBR, and today is April 1st or 2nd, depending on which day we post this. So, I couldn't hold back. I needed to read it, and I was not disappointed. This is a 10 out of 5. It's just so good. This is the book that Danielle and I are planning to do like a podcast on. There will probably be spoilers in that podcast. Just giving you the heads up now. We're kind of probably do some comparisons between book and movie. Differences we liked, things that we didn't like. I mean, this book is... if you've seen the movie and haven't read the book, if you watch the movie, you pretty much have read the book. It's almost identical.
When we both finished the book, too, we both instantly... We read this separately, and he didn't even know that I went and watched the movie right away, and he did the exact same thing.
Yeah, I like... Which, I'm mad, Apple, because I had bought this movie on an old iPad, and I don't have it now. So, thanks for that. You literally need to listen to the podcast, because everything I want to say would spoil everything about this book. So, but yeah. 5 stars. It's just so good. It's such a phenomenal book. I like wish I could dedicate a whole video just to this book, but I'm not going to. Maybe I will. I don't know. Stay tuned for a Gone Girl episode. But the podcast is going to happen. And again, I don't know if that's going to be this Monday or the following Monday. It'll probably be this Monday because I need to talk about this book like ASAP. But yeah, there you have Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Alright, so that was my March wrap-up. I'm actually surprised I didn't get a Stephen King book into there. I actually thought I did. For some reason, I thought that this was Gwendy's final task in March, but it was definitely the middle of February. But you know, I had a book planned for it, and I just didn't get to it. A lot of things going on at work. I'm doing overnights, so it's very exciting. That's why it's kind of been not the best end of the week for me. But yeah, no, that's my wrap-up. Again, we have the new YouTube channel. We'll have that down below. Make sure you subscribe. Pretty much be the recording of us doing our recording of the podcast. So, because I know you guys wanted to see it. But yeah, subscribe to that. What was some books that you read in the month of March that you are super excited for? Make sure you let me know in the comments down below. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next video. Later.